Hi guys, and welcome to today's episode where we are going to show you in one video how to prep extensions 3 different ways. Okay guys, so we have 3 different ways of prepping the inside of our full cover tips, and today we are going to show you in one quick video how you would use all of them. Okay, so let's get started. Which one should we do first, Laura? Let's do my favourite first.
The best one.
The easiest one, X-Prep. So X-Prep is our favourite method because it is, in all honesty, so much faster and so much easier. Okay, Laura, let me see, please. Okay, so we have already prepped Laura's nails ready for application. We've done our normal prep. We do not then use any acetone, dehydrators, cleansers or anything. So prep and then straight into our priming. So we are going to be using X-Prep first. So the way that we would recommend using X-Prep is, you're not going to use anything else in conjunction with it. You are just going to carefully apply that to the natural nail, covering the full area of the natural nail, always trying to avoid contact with the skin where possible. And then we are going to take our tip and we are going to paint it onto the area of the tip that is going to be in contact with the natural nail. And then we are going to take the tip and we are going to rub it together with the natural nail. So what I like to do is I then like to utilize the client's free edge. And I don't know if you can actually see that. Can you see how that's creating those little sort of scratch marks? That is really, really good for retention because you're getting lots of little striations and etches in the tip, which is going to help that gel to grip. So we also like to do it because it just creates a really full coverage between the tip and the natural nail as well. So those are both ready to go, ready to be applied. So today we are going to be using our Ultimate Gel. We absolutely love this and we know that it's your guys' favourite too. So we always recommend popping your light on, your light or your torch ready to be used, so you're not all sort of fingers and thumbs when it comes to applying the tip. I'm going to use a little extra gel today because Laura does have a longer free edge right now and her nail bed's quite long. So we are then going to take the nail and we are going to apply the tip at a 45-degree angle, close to the cuticle, pressing down to the free edge and then up to the lamp. So as always, what I like to do is, because my thumb is covering the free edge, I will bring it out, I will remove any seepage using our microfiber brush, and then we will return the nail to the lamp, ensuring a nice 10 centimetre or so distance from the nail to the lamp. That helps avoid any heat spikes. Okay, so the next method I will go on to is our X-Etch method. So when using X-Etch, you're going to need to use X-Prime in conjunction with it. So what we're going to do first is we are going to use our X-Prime, no, that is X-Etch. We're going to use our X-Prime on the natural nail. Sorry for the noise in the background, guys. The dog is chewing on a box. Okay, so we are going to apply the X-Prime to the natural nail. So X-Prime is a non-acid primer. It will dry, the solvents will dry, meaning it's not a sticky sort of primer, whereas X-Prep is a more sort of wet primer. This is very different. So you can see that the nail's all dry now that it's been primed. You will notice when using X-Etch that it has a really short stubby brush. This is to help you create some texture on the tip. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint it onto the surface of the tip where it's going to be in contact with the natural nail, and then after a couple of seconds you'll feel it going sort of sticky, and then we are going to mash it in. Hopefully, Chris, you've got a good angle from where you are. And we are just going to mash it in, ensuring we get a good coverage right around the edges. And what that does is that creates a bit of texture on the tip. There we go, so that's what we're really looking for here. That sort of mottled effect, ensuring that we get right around the edges. So when you are, something that's really important to point out is that when you are using X-Prep, you are going to be doing one nail at a time. So you will apply the X-Prep to one nail at a time, and you will then apply that nail. When you are applying X-Etch, you can go ahead and etch all of the tips in one and then apply them all. So X etch is going to be used, like I said earlier, with X prime. We have already primed the nail and we have now primed the tip. So I am again going to put my lamp on, get it ready, and I am going to get my Ultima gel. I'm going to pop a bead at the base of the nail there. And then we are going to apply it. Again, 45-degree angle, firm pressure at the cuticle, pushing down to the free edge and then up to the light. Okay, so again, I will remove that from the light. There's just a tiny little bit of seepage right there. So I'm just going to wipe away and then we are going to return the nail to the light. So whilst Laura is curing under there, last but not least, I am going to show you the method of manually etching the inside of tips. So what we like to recommend is using an e-file and using a bit such as this. This is our etcher bit that we did in collaboration with Lucy Pastorelli, and it is the absolute perfect shape for etching tips. I know a lot of people use other things such as sanding bands, etc., but this one is the perfect shape for inside of a tip, and it will reduce the risk of you damaging the sidewalls. So what I like to do is use it at a speed of about 6. You don't need to have it at a very high RPM, and you are again just going to gently etch inside the full area of the tip that's going to be in contact with the natural nail. Again, making sure that you get right up to those edges, because that is where you'll get lifting from. Always ensuring you go as far as the natural nail is going to fit. So you can see how that is all etched. It's now all matte. Just going to give it a little dust off. Okay, and then when we are using that manual method, we are just going to use X prime to prime the natural nail. So X prime is just a fantastic all-round primer.
What would happen if you don't use a primer?
You might have retention issues. It's a crime not to prime, as they say.
Never heard that.
Yeah, no, it's the same as going around.
It's by Nikki Tutorials. Not to prime is a crime when you're doing your foundation.
So again, I am going to go in with my Ultima gel. So what you will notice if you try all these different methods is that the gel spreads differently depending on the method you use. So this method is a very dry method, so there's no sort of liquid that's going to help the gel spread with this method. So you might sometimes need to use a little firmer pressure or a little bit more gel than you would say with the X prep method, because that is a wet method of application. So the gel does tend to spread a little bit easier. So again, we are just going to apply 45-degree angle at the cuticle, pressing firmly down the free edge and then up to the light.
So am I right in saying that used in conjunction with Ultima is the hypoallergenic way?
That is a hypoallergenic way, yes. So again, I covered the free edge with my thumb when we were curing, which means that any seepage past the free edge, this is just a surefire way to be able to remove any seepage, guys. I think it's just so much easier because it's so hard to gauge the exact amount of gel you're using for each client. Obviously, we're trying our best to do that, but it's just not possible all the time. So by covering the free edge, you're ensuring that anything that is under your thumb is not cured and you'll be able to just wipe it away. Okay, so there we go. All three applied in completely different ways, but all should have the same retention and the same outcome. So let's just quickly recap again. So first thing I want to stress is that when you are using X Prep, you are not going to be using any other primers. You will not be using X Prime, you will not be using X Etch. Whenever you're using X Prep, you are only using X Prep. And X Prep is a 2-in-1 primer that will prime both the natural nail and the tip. When you are using X Etch is for priming the inside of the tip. It is a chemical primer for inside the nail tip, and you will be using that in conjunction with a primer for the natural nail, right way around, which is X Prime. If you are manually etching the inside of your tips with something such as an e-file, you can even use a rolled up nail file as well, you will just want to be using X Prime. So you will always be using X Prime, always, except for if you're using X-Prep. That is the only exception.
Exception.
The only exception. Thanks for watching today, guys. We would love to know what your favourite method of applying full cover tips is. Leave it in the comments below. Be sure to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and also be sure to subscribe to be notified when we release our next video. Bye!